It's time for an all too early preseason review, and for this, all I can say is just wow. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. It's been a hot minute since we did a video. Caught an article on Air Alamo this morning. I was like, I want to share that and then give my all too early preseason thoughts. But first, we got to talk about what happened last night. The moment we've all been waiting for arrived. And it was just as magnificent as you imagined it would be. Wemby and CP3 gave the fans what they wanted. The dynamic duo took the court together, and the only question was how long before the lob came. Well, they ran a few pick and roll actions early, but a tough Orlando squad, and they were tough last night, was paying close attention to Wemby as they should on the roll. It was clear they were trying to prevent the magic from happening. Pun intended, prevent the magic for the Spurs, but they couldn't hold it off forever. With less than a minute left in the quarter, the point guard set up another pick and roll from the wing, and the alien got loose. And you probably have already seen this, but if you haven't, we're going to play it here because it's just amazing. Chris Paul is right in front of the referee, number 61, if you can't see him. Wemby gets loose right there. And look at this. Boom, shakalaka. Oh, I think that was one of the Wagners. Just throws it down with righteous authority. Thunder dunk of justice. We're going to see it from another angle in just a moment. Great read by Paul as he's heading to the basket. Knows Wemby's there. Gets the ball to where only Wemby can do Wemby things. And then the finish. Just kaboom. Just wow. I mean, I know I went nuts when I saw that live last night. I'm sure many of you did. We can expect so many more of these highlight-type plays for the rest of the season with CP3 on the floor and Wemby out there. I mean, they're just, yes, things were a little rough in the first quarter, really. Rust, whatever. When these two get on the same page, and eventually, hopefully, those skills from Chris Paul with the lob transfer over to Stefan Castle, and Castle's lobbing these things to Wemby, oh my, is going to be a fun season. It's going to be a fun decade moving forward. Anyway, let's move along down the article, blah, 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 blah. The eyes of Spurs fans everywhere shot up in unison as they threw their hands to the sky to celebrate such a monumental occasion. Yes, I was right there with you. And then there's a tweet here I want to point out. Daniel says, "Thank God for letting me live the era of Victor Wembanyama." And Air Alamo says, "We are all thankful for that. You can add on a thank you for a team that looks like they can start winning games right out of the gate. It will undoubtedly look even better once Devin Vassell gets back, but Champagnie and Mamou's three-point shooting has significantly improved as long as what they're showing through two games is the new norm and not a start of the season blip." That's fair. Stefan Castle has looked every part like the player he was projected to be and more. He took control of the game once Victor and Chris Paul sat for the night. Blake Wesley has been filling up the stat sheet in the assist column. Players are stepping up left and right. It's going to be a fun season, so buckle up. And I agree with all of that, but I have my own 2 cents. I want to talk about the preseason a little bit. Yes, this was, oh my gosh. I mean, yes, it was great. But there's other good things happening here, and this is what I want to talk about here in the second half of the video. Julian Champagnie. Wow, he is firing at will. That passive player we saw most of last season is not passive anymore. If he keeps playing like this, he's likely going to be a valuable asset off the bench with some starts sprinkled in. I think, based on the lineup we saw last night, he's probably going to start while Devin Vassell is out. For anybody that doesn't know, Devin Vassell is out right now until at least November 1st. Could be back as early as November 2nd. He will miss the first 5 games. Sandro Mamukelashvili. I don't know if he worked on a three-point shot in the offseason, but he's dropping threes left and right. I'm like, all right. You had a good rapport with Wemby last season. Now if you are going to help floor spacing when you're on the court with him, all in. Blake Wesley, passing, protecting the ball very well with some solid D. Anyway, and then last but certainly not least, Stefan Castle. Showing strength, patience, his basketball IQ, not afraid to go, just take it in the paint and draw contact. Plus, he hit a few threes last night, and his form, one thing that I really caught during the broadcast is I did hear Sean Elliott, whose opinion I think we all can appreciate or value at some level. He said the form looked great. I know he was not a good three-point shooter in college, but that may come around in the NBA. I don't think we should have expectations this year he's going to be like a 40 or 45% three-point shooter. You think even north of 33%? Heck, we'll take it. He's going to be a stud for us. As far as A couple negatives. I got to point them out. Got to point them out. Got to be a Spurs fan on both sides of the ball. Malachi Branham. Oh my. He's also firing at will, but he's also missing at a high rate, and his D is limp. And then City Sissoko. That summer league offense that looked like it needed a lot of work still needs a lot of work. I have seen some fans in the live chat last night say get rid of Sissoko already. I don't think he's... There are a few players that are on that make or break. I've said before in the past, Blake Wesley, Malachi Branham seem to be in that area. They're going into year 3 of their rookie contract. I don't believe either is extended to a year 4. If neither improves, or if either regresses, I could clearly see one or both being gone. And with Sissoko, there's a lot of rough edges offensively that needs to be worked on. He's a young player. He's only in his second year. The issue that the Spurs are going to have, and more so the players on the roster are going to have, is we have a ton of draft picks. Some of you have mentioned this again last night. We could have up to 4 first-round picks. Now, everything has to fall in line in order for that. The Spurs have their own. They have the Hawks, no matter where that lands. They have the Chicago Bulls top 10 protected, and then they have the Hornets lottery protected. So yes, it is feasible we could have 4 first-round picks. It is possible we could have 3 lottery picks. It's possible we could have 2 top 5 picks. Who the heck knows? But we have a lot of draft picks over the next few years. And these guys that we're trying to develop, if they take too long to develop or don't look like they're developing, it's going to be time to move on. Or players that have been here for a while. I keep seeing Keldon Johnson, time to move on from him. I do think there's going to be a lot of changes in the Spurs roster over the next few years. Who it is, we won't find out until they're on the court and showing us what they can do this year. I'm really hoping a lot of our guys step up. Keldon's lost a ton of weight and put a lot of work into the offseason. But it's not going to matter if that work doesn't translate to his on-court performance. I thought it was very odd he did not play last night. Trey Jones also was not playing. Maybe Pop just wanted to get different rotations in, whatever it may be, but neither one of those players suited up. We only have a few games left at preseason. I believe it's 3 more. We'll be live for every one of them, and I'm very curious to see how this team develops, how it molds. Harrison Barnes, I actually forgot to mention him on the negatives. His shot looks off right now, and he hasn't played very good defense, so he's kind of like Malachi Branham. Not saying he plays like Malachi Branham, but he's in that category of if you're only good at one thing and you're not doing that one thing, then now you're a liability on both ends of the floor. Both players can score and put up buckets, but they're both weak defensively. So if they're not scoring and now they're playing bad D, they're a liability on the floor. And those type of players are not. I don't really want players like that on the team unless they're so good on one end. It doesn't matter that they're struggling on the other. So that's all I got. And before I forget that, Jeremy Sohan shot with 2 hands. I don't know why I went to Slipknot there. I missed it last night, but you guys mentioned in live chat he's shooting with 2 hands now. If his percentage gets better with 2 hands, great. If he's been working on a shot, he's another player that looks like he might be better than last season. Haven't really seen enough, or quite frankly, and I'm sorry, Jeremy Sohan, his hair is so distracting. There's that. But also, I was really focused on CP3 and Wemby last night and seeing what they could do. I kind of missed what he was doing when he was out there. But I think we're going to be okay. There's some question marks. There's the giant question mark of whether Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes will be here after the All-Star break, if one or both will get traded. And I'm starting to ramble. I like talking Spurs, and I haven't done a video for our channel in a while, and just want to kind of chat with you guys on your thoughts on the big lobs last night. Wemby certainly seemed rusty and was chucking up a lot of threes. I expect that to fix as the preseason progresses and then certainly be better in the regular season. I think we might be a little better than advertised. And seeing other players step up huge already, like Champagnie and Mamu, that's got me excited. No matter what happens, it'll be a fun year to be a Spurs fan. It'll be fun talking to you guys about it. And that's all I got. So drop a comment down below. Any surprises so far in the preseason, any disappointments. Hit the thumbs up, support the channel, and subscribe to be part of our awesome Spurs community. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs go. Wemby.